262 subsection 1A. With regards to the same matter of the mic, if we are going to be subjected to a roving mic like this, so that basically infringes on our freedom of speech. So I'm asking that, was it done deliberately to deal with us here, or what? Normally in our house sittings we would have mics in every seat. What happened now? Thank you.
Thank you very much, honorable members. I hope the matter that is raised by Honorable Mashiko is important, but we have since responded to say this house is organized as per Rule 14 and Rule 17, and I've read the sections that are relevant. Your issue where you requested to deliver a member statement, I've indicated that it will be entertained in the sitting of the 25th, because this is a special sitting. Thank you. Can I therefore afford the Premier an opportunity to deliver? Let's say the point of order.
The point of order is that even though the sitting is arranged and we have no objection to it, according to Rule 14 and Rule 17, those rules do not say that all other rules and rights and privileges then become obsolete for this sitting. So I'm objecting. Allow us to have our member statements, particularly the one I wish to make is very important and relevant to this sitting, and particularly relevant to communities who are immediately outside and protesters who are outside the sitting.
I think I have read Rule 17. I will repeat reading it again. Rule 17, subsection 3 reads thus: the only business that may be conducted at a special sitting will be the business for which it has been designated, and we have designated this as a special sitting. Therefore, I don't carry your motion. Over to you, Premier. The rules are not suspended. Rule 17 is applicable to this sitting. Thank you, Premier.
Madam Speaker, Deputy Speaker, members of the Executive Council, honorable members of the Gauteng Provincial Legislature and NCOP delegates, leaders of political parties represented in our legislature, the Judge President of the Gauteng High Court, the South Gauteng High Court, Judge President Dunstan Mlambo, and esteemed members of the judiciary present, the chairperson of SALGA and executive mayors, speakers, councillors, distinguished members of the diplomatic corps, stalwarts and veterans of our liberation struggle here present, leaders of faith-based organizations, captains of industry, trade union leaders, representatives of women, youth, sports, cultural and arts bodies in our province, the acting provincial commissioner of the South African Police Service and heads of law enforcement agencies, the DG in our province and heads of departments, the people of Gauteng, Dumelang, Ausheng, Sanbonan, Tobela, Molweni, Kuyemore, good morning. Today, the first sitting of our legislature this year takes place in Sidibeng, the southern corridor of our Gauteng city region. During Tirisano community outreach visits in the Vaal in October last year, I made a promise to the people of the Vaal that we will bring the 2016 State of the Province address to their district. A promise made is a promise kept. It is therefore fitting and proper that we first pay our incalculable debt of gratitude to the people of the Vaal for their sterling and irrefutable contribution to the struggle for a free, non-racial, non-sexist, democratic, and prosperous South Africa. Madam Speaker, allow me to welcome in this sitting the survivors and families of the victims of Sharpeville, Sebokeng, and Wipato massacre. I also welcome in our midst the leaders of the Vaal Civic Association, that gallant people's organization that spearheaded and championed the struggles of the people of the Vaal. We remember and honor those who died and many who suffered as a result of these massacres and oppression. Their struggles and sacrifices are not in vain, and we salute them. Many of you, the people of the Vaal, were detained, tortured, and maimed by the apartheid security forces. Today, we honor your seminal contribution and acknowledge your untold sufferings and selfless sacrifices you made during the struggle for freedom, justice, democracy, and progress in our land. From the defiance campaign of the 1950s to the anti-apartheid and anti-pass campaign of 1960, you occupied the center stage in mobilizing our people to resist apartheid and colonialism. During the student uprisings of the 1970s and the RAN boycotts and community struggles of the 1980s, you remained principled and uncompromising. In the early 1990s, you bore the brunt of apartheid regime's violence that preceded our transition to democracy. And in the past 2 decades of our freedom and democracy, you have continued to work hard in building a national democratic society which is non-racial, non-sexist, united, democratic, and prosperous. The people of the Vaal have always been the midwives of peace, democracy, and progress in our country. I would like to remind you that the peace treaty that ended the Anglo-Boer War was signed here in the Vaal in 1902, otherwise known as the Treaty of Vereeniging. The Constitution of the Republic of South Africa was signed into law and adopted here in the Vaal in 1996. The first fully fledged post-apartheid city, the Vaal River City, is being built here in Sedibeng on the banks of the Great Vaal River. Honorable members, this will be a real post-apartheid city that will integrate Sharpeville into a new central business district and ensure that our people work closer and to where they live. As we mark the 20th anniversary of our Constitution, let us also remember that it is the commitment we made in the preamble of our Constitution that we shall recognize the injustices of our past, honor those who suffered for justice and freedom, respect those who have worked hard to build and develop our country, heal the divisions of our past, and establish a society based on democratic values, social justice, and fundamental human rights. Accordingly, I would like to congratulate the Sedibeng District Municipality for awarding the freedom of the district to 3 stalwarts who are the surviving Rivonia trialists. And those stalwarts are Babu Andrew Mlangeni, Babu Ahmed Katrada, and Babu Dennis Goldbeck. Babu Ahmed Katrada is here with us today on their behalf. And there are many veterans and stalwarts of our struggle who are with us also here today in full uniform. We thank the stalwarts and veterans of our liberation struggle for dedicating their lives to the service of the people of South Africa. We salute you for continuing to be the moral compass and conscience of our nation. Through force of example, you teach us the vital lessons of leadership, and that is humility, loyalty, and service to the people. You also teach us that we must always put our country and our people first at all times. You speak out and call us to order when we as leaders do wrong things that may bring our country into disrepute. You gently and firmly show us the way when we lose our way. You light our hearts and lift our spirits when our mood is low and when we lose hope. Once more, we salute you, our stalwarts and veterans. People of Gauteng, in honoring those who sacrificed for freedom and democracy and gave us a constitution of which we are deeply proud, I hereby make a clarion call that we must unite against racism and xenophobia. Let us fight racism wherever and whenever it manifests itself. Those who call black people baboons are as wrong as those who threaten to drive white students out of our university campuses. There must be no room for racists in the South Africa of our dreams. Let us unite to build a non-racial society where every citizen has the means to realize their dreams. Let us dismantle all the structural impediments which make it difficult for our people to live in peace and harmony through pushing forward with radical social and economic transformation. Our province is the most cosmopolitan and Afropolitan province in our continent, and Gauteng can and must take a lead in building a society that reaffirms our common humanity and our common national identity. I would like to announce that I will appoint a group of eminent persons who will work with all civil society organizations to open, honest, and constructive conversations on how we can build a society free from racism and xenophobia. Honorable members, as the leadership of this province, we are neither superstars nor celebrities. We are simple and humble servants of our people. Our primary task is to serve you, the people, in line with the prescripts of the Constitution of our Republic, the supreme law of our land. To us, nothing is such a permanent reminder of apartheid and colonial past than the persistent racial exclusion of black people from the mainstream of our economy. Nothing is more urgent than giving hope to our youth through quality education, decent employment, and sustainable entrepreneurship. Nothing is more troubling than the atrocious acts of gender-based violence perpetrated against millions of women and girl children in our country and province. Nothing is more offensive than acts of incompetence and corruption that feed the racial stereotype that all black people are either inherently incompetent or inherently corrupt. Nothing undermines our cosmopolitan and Afropolitan character as a province than the resurgence of racism and the ferment of xenophobia in our midst. Nothing keeps us awake at night more than the knowledge that many Gauteng residents are gripped by the fear of crime. Nothing angers us more than the senseless killing of police officers and traffic officers who are the protectors of our citizens and the upholders of our law. Madam Speaker, we cannot bemoan the economic and social problems plaguing our province. We are leaders and we are citizens. It is within our power to change our conditions and build a common South African identity based on equality, liberty, fraternity in our lifetime. We will restore hope and build unity amongst the people of Gauteng. Over the past 21 years, the ANC-led government has done a lot to improve the quality of life of millions of our people. We are fully aware that we still have a long way to go, and we shall not rest until all South Africans enjoy the full fruits of freedom and democracy, regardless of race, ethnicity, class, gender, religion, or origin. In the past 21 months in particular, the ANC-led Fifth Administration has been implementing a bold program of transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization, otherwise known as the TMR. In the State of the Province address that I am delivering, I'll give a full report back on the progress we are making and the challenges that we are facing in accelerating the implementation of our program. Honorable members, the government I have the honor to lead believes in evidence-based governance and policy making. So today we will provide evidence that our province is increasingly ensuring that it takes its rightful place as the pace setter in many areas of government performance. A clean and competent bureaucracy driven by high-performance culture is necessary in a developmental state. There's evidence that through Ntirisano, we are changing the way government works in our province. The ability of public officials to deliver on their plans and commitments is crucial in any thriving democracy because it enhances public confidence. We can't just talk and not implement. Gauteng will become, in our lifetime and during this term, a corruption-free province. It is important to ensure that public resources are directed to the benefit of all our people. The state must never be captured by few individuals or groups for their own selfish gain. Even in the most difficult global and national economic situation, we will provide evidence that this province has the enormous potential to create more jobs and grow our economy in an inclusive manner. We remain the industrial hub of our country and the SADC region, and we are taking bold steps in driving infrastructure development, innovation, investment, institution building, regional integration, inclusion, and industrialization and reindustrialization, in line with the National Development Plan and the TMR. As the pioneers of the township economy, revitalization, we are also making great strides in empowering township-based enterprises, cooperatives, and SMMEs in our province. We will demonstrate that the township economy is becoming a beehive of activity with regard to innovation, entrepreneurship, empowerment, and decent employment. Madam Speaker, we are taking a lead in the modernization of the public services through the introduction of the ICT in education, in the health sector, in community safety, and in general citizen services. During my inaugural State of the Province address delivered in Thokoza Township in June 2014, I made a commitment that we will change the way government works. Before the launch of the Ntirisano program, Gauteng was engulfed by violent community protests on a daily basis. Evidently, there was a growing dissatisfaction with the way government works and the way government interacts with our people. Regardless of how well government was trying to deliver, it was loud and clear that there was a trust deficit between communities and government officials. Essentially, the problem was not only about delivery of services, but it was also about how service delivery is undertaken. Honorable members, the launch of Ntirisano has turned around the mood in our communities in an unprecedented manner. Through a proactive and participatory approach to problem solving, we are restoring levels of trust between ourselves as government and communities on the ground. Honorable members, Ntirisano is as much about improving the pace of service delivery as it is about breaking the mold of bureaucratic inertia in the state and in the way we work. It It is about working together with communities in solving problems and making government officials and service providers more accountable to the people. Ntirisound has already received independent acknowledgement from the Municipal IQ Monitor, which reports that service delivery protests in Gauteng have decreased from 21% to 15% in the past 12 months. Honorable members, this is the most dramatic decline in the past decade and a half. And what is the 2015 Municipal IQ report have to say about what's happening in Gauteng? And I quote, "It is evident that Gauteng, although still the most conflict-ridden in 2015, the level of violent protest has decreased in the province relative to the past 10.5 years. With this kind of experience, the outcomes of the Premier's war room to address grievances of protesting communities before they spiral into violence deserves keen attention, especially with the preliminary indications that levels of violent protests have been receding." The people of Gauteng, this is a testimony that we listen and we act about your concerns. So together we can grow. Whilst we are encouraged by these developments, we will not be complacent. Team Gauteng, which includes all the MECs, the executive mayors, and myself, will continue to spend more time out there on the ground solving problems with our communities and blocking delivery of infrastructure projects and getting our economy to work for all of you. We are governing with urgency, with a greater sense of integrity and with transparency. The people of Gauteng, we know that you are intolerant of a government that fails and a bureaucracy that is incompetent. We know that you want a government that honors its commitments. We know that you want this province to succeed. We know that your view is that failure is no option. Incompetence is impermissible in our province, and corruption is totally unacceptable. We are particularly encouraged that 19 of our departments and agencies, including the Office of the Premier, achieved clean audits in the 2014-2015 financial year. Honorable members, only one department and one agency did not meet our expectations. Although the Department of Health has not met our expectations of an unqualified audit, there is significant improvement in its finances and service delivery response. I'm very confident that this department will join the list of clean audits during our term of office. The leadership of the department has been placed on very strict performance terms to fix the public health care system in this province. To demonstrate that we mean business, I've already taken a decision to change the leadership of G Fleet, our fleet management company that has repeatedly obtained negative audit outcomes from adverse to the disclaimer in 2 consecutive years. That leadership has been changed. Similar action will be taken where departments and agencies show serial poor performance. There shall be consequences for poor performance and unethical behavior. We mean business in Gauteng. It is important to also report that last year, most of our departments spent 99% of their infrastructure budgets. This is very commendable. It's a commendable achievement given the history of underspending on infrastructure in this province. We are also cracking the whip on the departments who are not paying service delivery providers on time. 10 out of 14 of our departments have achieved 90% compliance with the payment of service providers within 30 days. The digitization of invoicing has introduced new efficiencies in our governance system and is helping us to pay service providers on time. However, I remain deeply concerned that some of our departments, particularly big budget departments, still pay less than 70% of their invoices within 30 days. And those departments that are on my radar screen is education, health, human settlements, and infrastructure development. The MECs of these departments have assured me that there will be a turnaround in their performance in this area of paying service providers in time in the next financial year. These MECs know that a commitment made must be a commitment honored. We cannot, as this government, be part of those who destroy black businesses and SMMEs through non-payment or late payment of their invoices. This government cannot be part of destroying businesses by paying people late or not paying them at all. Madam Speaker, we are implementing an integrity management framework to deter fraud and corruption, and we have been taking decisive disciplinary action against officials who are found guilty of financial misconduct. The open tender system is one of the most important innovations of this ANC-led fifth administration in our province. We are leading the country in ensuring that procurement decisions are taken above board. Our new approach has attracted considerable public attention and widespread review, including from the National Treasury and other provinces. We are now extending this transparent system of appointing service providers to all departments, especially those that have big budgets. We commend the city of Ekurhuleni for pioneering, following in our footsteps to pioneer the introduction of the open tender system in local government. Honorable members, I truly believe we can use procurement policy to achieve genuine black economic empowerment in all sectors without bribery and corruption. We must get rid of the perception that any black person or any black business person who gets a tender has bribed their way into the corridors of power. Let us empower black people, and that is contractors, black construction companies, black law firms, black accounting and audit firms, black engineering and consulting firms, black emerging farmers and manufacturers, black industrialists and entrepreneurs. Let us do so unashamedly, transparently, and ethically. I believe we can do this. We can do this, honorable members. Let me also report that several of our departments have received recognition from national government as top performers amongst their peers in the country. This is an indication that we are becoming a center of excellence and innovation in the public service and public sector broadly. The Department of Infrastructure Development received the highest number of awards at the 2015 EPWP Excellence Awards. That is 6 awards, followed only by 3 awards from KZN. The Human Resource Development Unit in this department was awarded the 2015 Best Institutional HRD Unit in South Africa. The Department of Roads and Transport Motor Vehicle Registration Unit has won the first prize at the Center for Public Service Innovation for its Revenue Information Management System, otherwise known as RIMS. Our provincial treasury, one of the shining institutions we are very happy to protect, has won the 3rd prize at the 2015 Center for Public Service Innovation Awards for introducing an online payroll certification application, which has eliminated delays as well as ghost workers in our system. Honorable members, there are other centers of excellence I will return to during this address, including in municipalities. Madam Speaker, let me now report on the work we are doing to turn around our economy. I will outline the work we are doing to transform, modernize, and reindustrialize our province as part of navigating the difficulties in the global and national economy. Professor Joseph Stiglitz, the Nobel laureate in economics, had this to say about the current state of the global economy. And I quote, "The year 2015 was a hard one all round. Brazil fell into recession. China's economy experienced its first serious bumps after almost 4 decades of breakneck growth. The Eurozone managed to avoid a meltdown over Greece, but its near stagnation has continued, contributing to what surely will be viewed as the lost decade. For the United States, 2015 was supposed to be the year that finally closed the book on the Great Recession that began in 2008. But instead, the US recovery has also been middling," close quote. During his State of the Nation address on the 11th of February this year, President Jacob Zuma outlined the challenges facing our economy given these global and domestic circumstances. He called upon us to work together in developing a common narrative, and he further said, I quote, "We cannot change the global economic conditions, but we can do a lot to change the local conditions. Let us work together to turn the situation around. It can be done," close quote. Madam Speaker, we in the Gauteng City region are already working together to transform, modernize, and re-industrialize our provincial economy for the common good of all the people of Gauteng. We are conscious of the fact that by virtue of our strategic position in the national and SADC economy, our province is best placed to champion an inclusive and growing economy. Working together with our cities, the private sector, trade unions, and civil society, we can do much more to stimulate growth and trigger a new wave of smart and green reindustrialization. Despite the tough global conditions and national situation, Gauteng has maintained its position as the economic powerhouse of South Africa, contributing 35% to the South African economy in 2015, compared to 33% in 1997. Honorable members, as a result of our interventions, Gauteng continues to be the leading destination for foreign direct investment into Africa. According to the recently released Ernst & Young 2016 Africa Attractiveness Survey, 30 billion rand of foreign direct investment projects have come into the Gauteng economy in 2015 and 2014, just since we took over as the fifth administration. 30 billion rands of foreign direct investment. Our economy has also consistently been growing above the national average at 4.2% between 2003 and 2013. Just in 2013 alone, our economy grew at the highest at the rate of 2.6%. However, honorable members, our growth has slowed down quite dramatically in 2015 as a result of a combination of national and global circumstances. With regards to employment, the Gauteng economy contributes 42% to national employment and has the highest labor absorption rate. This is according to Stats SA, Statistics South Africa. In 1996, there were only 2.5 million people employed in the Gauteng economy. And 20 years later, there are 5 million people employed in the Gauteng economy. This means that we have doubled the number of people employed in the Gauteng economy in 2 decades since the ANC became the governing party in this province. More interestingly, during the past 12 months of the fifth administration, 191,000 jobs have been added to the formal Gauteng economy, while in the informal sector, 150,000 new jobs have been created. Honorable members, these facts are contained in the September 2015 quarterly labor Force survey. They don't come from me. They come from Statistics South Africa, honorable members. This means, honorable members, taking into account the fact that we have also added 220,642 job opportunities through the EPWP in 2014 and 2015. There are many poor people in our province who now have bread on the table. We are the province that has made the most gains in employment in the past 12 years as well as in the past 2 decades. However, we know that we face many, many challenges. And most of these challenges either arise from rapid urbanization or the structural problems of our economy. Between 2011 and 2016, 1 million people moved into the Gauteng province. 1 million people in 5 years. In other words, honorable members, an average of 200,000 people move into our province every year. And they come into the province with their own needs for jobs, for housing, for health, for education, and other life-supporting infrastructure and basic services. Despite the impressive achievement in the number of new jobs created, we still have the reality that 2.2 million people in our province are unemployed as we speak. Similarly, despite the fact that we have provided close to 1 million housing opportunities in the past 2 decades of ANC-led governance, the housing backlog in our province remains stubborn. This means we need to dramatically increase the number of jobs created annually and the number of houses delivered if we are to make a dent of unemployment and the housing backlog. To cope with rapid urbanization, persistent unemployment, poverty, and inequality, we have to work doubly hard and do things differently as Gauteng province with regard to the economy, infrastructure development, and service delivery. Consequently, our economic interventions will focus to achieve the following. Firstly, to change the ownership patterns to bring black people into the economic mainstream and create more black industrialists and black entrepreneurs. To change the current structure of our economy to privilege manufacturing activity through the processing of our rich mineral resources here at home rather than exporting them elsewhere where they will be processed and value added. We want to develop more modern innovation-driven industries in areas of high-tech, pharmaceuticals, biotechnology, the green economy, and the blue economy. We want to invest hugely in skills development to change the skills profile of the citizenry of our province in line with the new strategic sectors we have identified which must drive this economy. We want to change the income distribution to enhance equity and raise living standards of all the people of our province. We want to transform the apartheid, spatial economy, and human settlement patterns to integrate economic opportunities, transport corridors, and human settlements. We want to grow the SMME sector as the key driver of growth and to revitalize the mainstream the township economy. We want to strengthen the capacity of the state to direct economic development, enhance the competitiveness of the strategic sectors of our economy in order to drive active industrial policy. We want to significantly invest in infrastructure as the key stimulator of inclusive growth and economic development. And lastly, we want to build transformative partnerships between the private and public sector in addressing all the development challenges facing our province and our country as outlined in the National Development Plan, Vision 2030. The TMR program is our comprehensive response to all these unique challenges and the conditions we find as a province. Madam Speaker, the appropriateness of the TMR as a strategy and as a provincial development plan and the specific policies we have already adopted has been validated by independent research work done by various institutions. The McKinsey Global Institute report titled South Africa's Big 5 Bold Priorities for Inclusive Growth has identified key sectors that have serious potential to create employment, and most of these sectors are located in the Gauteng economy. The Brookings Institute and JP Morgan Chase report titled the South Africa's Global Gateway, Profiling the Gauteng City Region's International Competitiveness and Connections, identifies the competitive strength of our provincial economy and further confirms the work we are doing to improve infrastructure, innovation, trade, and talent. The work we have just been doing with the academics from Wits University, the University of Johannesburg, and the University of Pretoria regarding industrial policy, reindustrialization, and innovation has enabled us to identify the true potential of every sector of the Gauteng economy. Honorable members, I am happy to report that we have now formulated a new provincial economic plan that focuses on positioning our province strategically in relation to the SADC region, the African continent, the BRICS countries, and major economies in the world whose sectors are compatible with our own sectors. Our provincial economic plan gives concrete effect to the 9-point plan announced by President Zuma in his 2015 State of the Nation address, but it takes into account the unique features of our provincial economy. In April this year, we will convene an economic indaba with business, labor, and civil society to finalize the public consultations on our provincial economic plan before it is launched publicly in May. Gauteng is on the new economic highway. We have now, just to share with you what will be in the plan, we have now identified the following sectors and subsectors which will drive employment, transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization of our economy. Firstly, the service sectors of our economy contribute hugely to employment, empowerment, and expansion into the continent. Most of the jobs in the Gauteng economy are now generated in the services industries. In particular, we will pay attention to finance, trade and retail, business and professional services, business tourism and hospitality, transport and communication, construction and real estate, as well as business process outsourcing as key areas of focus in the services sector. With regard to manufacturing and its subsectors, we will continue to pay full attention to reindustrialization. We will focus on those areas of manufacturing, including its subsectors and industries that also contribute hugely to employment, empowerment, and the export potential of our province. The automotive industry, mining, capital equipment, manufacturing, petrochemical products, rubber and plastics, electronics and ICT components, biotechnology and pharmaceuticals, furniture manufacturing will also be key areas of our manufacturing sector. With regard to mining, we know that Gauteng is no longer a mining province a century later. However, we remain a locomotive of mining services and the manufacturing of mining equipment for the African continent. We are investing in industrial infrastructure for mineral beneficiation to upscale and increase the capacity that already exists with regard to mineral processing in our province. And this includes metal fabrication. With regard to agriculture, we shall pay particular attention to agro-processing as a key area of our competitiveness. We are not an agricultural economy, but we are a key player in agro-processing. We shall promote small-scale farming and urban food production, particularly in those corridors that have such potential, such as Sidibeng and the West Rand. We will also pay attention to the non-traditional sectors, such as the creative and cultural industries, as well as the green economy and smart industries, which are increasingly playing a key role in the new global economy. These sectors too must drive employment and empowerment. We will also ensure that the infrastructure investment initiatives we are delivering also contribute significantly to employment and empowerment. Together with the municipalities, we will provide additional incentives through effective land use and build industrial infrastructure for specific clusters of sectors and industries located in different development corridors of our city region. Honorable members, we have already been taking steps to improve the ease of doing business and in cutting red tape in our province. Amongst others, the Gauteng Investment Center, our one-stop shop, has been very successful in easing the burden of regulatory compliance for investors. Members of our legislature's Economic Development Portfolio Committee visited the investment center last year, and they had very positive things to say about the helpfulness and professionalism of the staff at the center. We are making progress in drastically reducing the time taken by municipalities and provincial government in approving development applications, a matter of great concern to businesses who want to invest in our provincial economy. I would like to report that we have reduced the time taken for the approval of environmental impact assessments, reduced from 18 to 24 months down to 3 months just in the past 12 months. We are confident that we will reach our target of approving all EIAs within 30 days. We are addressing other regulatory hurdles that are within our scope of influence. And those that have to do with national policy and national legislation, we will work with national government to deal with in response to the concerns raised by business in our province. We will be paying very close attention to the performance of key sectors in each of our 5 development corridors and to support all the firms and industries that contribute to employment and empowerment. We will take Ntirisano now right into the economy to work with captains and industry and leaders of organized labor to enhance the productivity and competitiveness of the Gauteng economy. We will also promote industrial clusters for firms and businesses that are involved in complementary activities in specific corridors. Honorable members, we are determined to ensure that the Gauteng economy grows in an inclusive, labor-absorbing, and ecologically sustainable manner. We are committed to ensuring that black people play an active role in the productive sectors of our economy, not only as importers of foreign manufactured goods, but also as industrialists and manufacturers of these goods right here at home in the local economy. Madam Speaker, we will use innovation, research, and development to promote smart and green industrialization and reindustrialization. I would like to report that in December last year, we visited the Gauteng Innovation Hub in Tshwane. We interacted with some interesting people who are doing amazing work in turning ideas and concepts into real startups and sustainable businesses. Many of these innovators are black and white young South Africans who give me so much hope about the future of our country. The success of the Innovation Hub and its contribution to the development of new businesses and new smart industries must be celebrated. The Hub has trained over 75 township entrepreneurs through startup weekends and boot camps run in conjunction with SABC innovation centers in some of our big townships. SABC focus on supporting entrepreneurs, particularly the youth, with their innovations and to fast-track the establishment of sustainable and innovative businesses. These centers are catalyzing innovation amongst youth in the township economy in our province. This year, honorable members, the Innovation Hub will expand its startup weekends and boot camps to train at least 100 entrepreneurs from all 5 development corridors in our province, particularly the youth, including young people in the suburbs. Due to popular demand, we are now expanding the infrastructure of the Innovation Hub in Tshwane. We are excited that our National Treasury has approved our request to source private funding for the expansion of the hub. Construction will commence in the next financial year. The University of Pretoria is a key partner in the expansion of the Innovation Hub, and its integration into the entire innovation zone that includes the CSIR and the city of Tshwane. In Johannesburg, the Innovation Hub will collaborate with Wits University on the development of Simulukong's precinct.
Media, you're not allowed to come there. Media. Members. Honorable members, can you sit down, please? Honorable Mabala, can you be orderly? Can you be orderly? Honorable Mabala. Honorable Mabala, I mentioned your name twice now. Can I read this rule, please? First, let me bring to your attention Rule 97, which reads thus: the member presiding over the House or chairing a committee must maintain order in meeting. And I'm going to maintain the order. Honorable Sindane, can you have respect for the presiding officer? Honorable members, let me therefore rule in this particular fashion. I want to bring to your attention Rule 99. Rule 99 reads thus: the member presiding over a house or chairing a committee meeting may order a member to withdraw immediately from a meeting in the event that member doesn't conduct himself or herself in a manner that is required of the rules. I therefore want to make this order. Honorable Sindane, Honorable Mabala, Honorable Disolwane, can you leave the house? the media. Because we are not members of this house, we are not allowed to come inside the sitting. So can we be orderly? Can I also request members of the public, our guests, to conduct themselves in an orderly manner? Can we request members or our guests to conduct themselves in an orderly manner? Otherwise, I won't have an option as well with you. Can I therefore request the Premier to continue?
Thank you very much, Honorable Speaker. I was on the Innovation Hub in Tshwane. In Johannesburg, the Innovation Hub will collaborate with Wits University on the development of Simulukong precinct with the aim of supporting unemployed IT and digital media graduates, as well as the township youth who are involved in game development and digital innovations. The city of Johannesburg is a key partner in this Innovation Hub precinct in Braamfontein. We will continue to strengthen partnership with all Gauteng universities, that is the University of South Africa, Wits University, UJ, UP, VUT, TUT, and Sefako Makgatu. We are doing this, Honorable Speaker, to collectively drive a progressive development agenda and innovation and re-industrialization. Madam Speaker, let me turn my attention now to the township economy, a subject very close to my heart. As part of our drive for radical economic transformation, we have firmly placed the township economy revitalization on the national agenda. We have put a policy in place and set aside resources. We have made a clarion call to action, and township entrepreneurs have responded overwhelmingly. In the first full year of the implementation of the Township Economy Revitalization Strategy, I'm happy to report that the provincial government is currently spending 1.8 billion rands procuring goods and services from township entrepreneurs. In addition, honorable members, our municipalities are collectively spending 1.6 billion rands in supporting township enterprises. So we have already reached our target, our one-year target of 12%, which we had set for 2015-2016. And we are certainly gaining momentum and speed towards spending at least 30% of our procurement budget on township enterprises by 2019. Honorable members, you may not be aware that before the adoption of the Township Economy Revitalization Strategy, only 400 township enterprises were benefiting from our procurement spend. As of January this year, that number has tripled, and it is at 1,805 township enterprises that are now benefiting from our procurement spend. We have registered 5,321 SMMEs on our procurement database that are based in our townships. We want these enterprises to be sustainable, to grow employment and become involved not just in services, but also in manufacturing and export. We are pleased to report that the following township hubs and industrial parks are undergoing renovation as we reported and committed ourselves in the 2015 State of the Province Address. And what are those? Is Orlando, Saltsville, Gauteng, Hammanskraal, Mabopane, Alexandra, and Enedale. We will complete them at the end of March. We are also intervening, honorable members, to support township entrepreneurs in the automotive sector, Abu Mechanic. Already, our emergency medical services vehicle repair hub in Winterveld is repairing, servicing, and maintaining our ambulances using township mechanics. The Katlehong, Soweto, and Kagiso Township industrial hubs will be accredited this year to open so that they too can service our vehicles. In the West Rand, we have 577 township enterprises that are being supported by this government. Here in Sidibeng, we have supported more than 250 township enterprises that are currently benefiting from our procurement spend, and we will increase this number in the next financial year. Honorable members, those who may not know, the township economy in this region is one of the most dynamic with regard to local manufacturing, particularly agro-processing and metal fabrication. Township people here are manufacturing and producing amazing things, and they need our support. The township economy revitalization is no longer just a story. It is not a fairy tale. It is not just a plan. It is becoming a game changer. We have honored our commitment to revitalize the township economy. And I'm happy to say behind all the numbers I have referred to, there are real people and real enterprises. And some of those people are with us here today. They have taken time out of their busy schedules as entrepreneurs, because it is a hectic schedule to be an entrepreneur, to join us here today. I would like you to join me in welcoming Thabiseng Dikotsi, who together with others formed a cooperative bank, YWBN, established for providing financial services to its 245 members in the construction sector. Her life and those of her fellow cooperators has changed for the better. I also like you to welcome Thokozani Shikwinyani from Ekurhuleni, who together with a group of young entrepreneurs founded Imbali Paints. This is a worker cooperative which manufactures lead-free paint for residential and commercial use, right from our townships. I would also like you to welcome Witumelo Rampeng, who manages the Garankuwa Eco Furniture Cooperative, supported by the Department of Environment and the City of Tshwane. And this cooperative manufactures school desks and other furniture using invasive alien plants. I would like you to also welcome Iglet Tsebe and Pindile Masuku, who founded Khora Community Bakery in Soshanguve, which bakes and supplies fresh bread to residents and spaza shops daily in Tshwane. Honorable members, I had the honor to visit Khora, and I tasted their bread, and it is mouth-watering. I want to advise you, honorable members, to visit that bakery in the township. But you must buy the bread when you go there. I also like you to welcome Tsepo Rampatla, who established Retiretse Car Wash Cooperative, which operates in Mamelodi and also services Tshwane Metropolis fleet. I also had the honor to launch the car wash and participate in washing a car of a senior citizen, together with the mayor of Tshwane. I want you to welcome Duncan Mutswahaye, who is involved in plastics manufacturing in the city of Johannesburg. And lastly, and not least, I want you to welcome Mrs. Msibi from Are Apareng Cooperatives and Leroto Dikabai from Rainbow Water and Projects from right here in Sidibeng. Madam Speaker, these are real businesses run by real entrepreneurs and creating real jobs. A commitment made must always be a commitment honored. Let me now give progress on our infrastructure plans. And these plans were announced in our 2015 State of the Province address. We indicated that the provincial government will spend more than 30 billion rands, while our municipalities will spend more than 94 billion rands over the MTF period on infrastructure. Our focus will be on energy, broadband, public transport, water, and sanitation. In July last year, we held a very successful inaugural Gauteng Infrastructure Investment Conference in order to mobilize support and develop a common approach on the infrastructure requirements of our Gauteng city region. I must say we received an overwhelming support from key stakeholders in the infrastructure conference with regard to our infrastructure plans. On energy security, I would like to give the following progress since the last State of the Province. We are working closely with the City of Johannesburg and the City of Tshwane to ensure that they finalize the due processes that are currently underway of appointing appropriate private sector partners who will renovate and upgrade the Kelvin Station, the Pretoria West, and the Rooiwal Power Station. The two cities will soon make announcements on this matter, and I'm very satisfied with the progress that has been made. This intervention will bring additional energy capacity of 1,200 megawatts in our Gauteng city region. We have also received approval from National Treasury with regard to our renewable energy projects of installing solar panels on the rooftops of all government buildings in our province. And we first need to get provincial treasury approval before we do anything on these projects, as you know, particularly because they are triple P projects. The project on tri-generation plants in our hospitals will also be a triple P, and it has also been approved by our National Treasury. And these projects will definitely start in the next financial year that begins in April. Madam Speaker, as we said before, public transport is a catalyst in growing our economy, and it contributes to the well-being of our people. It also has a huge impact on the spatial economy and morphology of our city region. Our goal remains that of building a modern public transport system which is integrated, safe, reliable, affordable, and intermodal. Significant progress is being made in the expansion of the BRT systems in all our metros. In the city of Johannesburg, the expansion of the third phase of the BRT to Alexandra, Sandton, Midrand, Ivory Park, and Randburg is progressing very well. Arieng in Tshwane is now operational in the CBD, and it is being rolled out to Mamelodi, Atteridgeville, Soshanguve, Karankua, and Mabopane. In Ekurhuleni, the construction of 3.6 kilometers of dedicated lanes and stations have been completed. The first phase of Ekurhuleni's BRT system, which is known as Harambe, from Tembisa to Isando, is underway and will be operational on the 1st of July this year. I must say the people of Ekurhuleni will also taste what it means to have a BRT in their municipality. They have been waiting for a long time. They have been envious of Johannesburg and lately of Tshwane. And the people of Sidibeng and the West Rand, we are also coming to you. People of Gauteng, I would like to also report about the work we have been doing with the taxi industry. The taxi industry transports more than 65% of commuters, and it contributes significantly to our economy through employment and empowerment, because we know many black people started their own businesses through the taxi industry. Even as there are problems, we must never forget that the taxi industry also requires to be integrated in our public transport system as all the others are being integrated. Over the past 12 months, we held extensive engagements with the taxi industry on our public transport plans and the place of this industry in our modern public transport system. We are also aware that many taxi operators are either operating on the routes that are saturated or are applying for taxi operating licenses for these routes that are not profitable. And we must say, honorable members, this is a recipe for disaster and one of the reasons that lead to taxi violence. We are committed to work with the industry to address all the challenges, and the taxi industry shall be integrated fully, and taxi operators will benefit from all our other public transport infrastructure in this term of this government. Honorable members, the Gauteng is one of the most positive public transport stories in post-apartheid South Africa. With regard to its ecological, social, and economic benefits, the Gauteng has so far contributed 20 billion rands into the Gauteng economy. During its construction, 122,000 jobs were created and 600 more jobs were created during its operation. With over 50 million passenger trips, transporting 1.4 million passengers per month, the Gauteng is radically transforming the public transport experience in our country and especially in our province. More people now rely on the Gauteng as a convenient means of transport, particularly with regard to those who cannot afford to pay e-tolls. In response to the growing demand of the Gauteng services, we are adding 48 new trains to the fleet at a cost of 3.5 billion rands, and this is underwritten by the Development Bank of Southern Africa, which is a state-owned development finance institution. This investment in the Gauteng will create 9,000 new jobs into the Gauteng economy. Honorable members, I must also hasten to say the next phase of the Gauteng expansion, whose planning is being finalized, will also radically transform and reconfigure major parts of our Gauteng city region, from the east to the west, from the north to the south. It will help us connect the west, the north, the south, and the central corridors of our city region. In all our interventions in improving public transport, we will always put the interests of the commuters first. Public transport is also a major driver of industrialization and reindustrialization. For example, since 2009, 474 new locomotives have been manufactured by Transnet in Kudus Port in Tshwane in the Gauteng city region. That manufacturing is now taking place in our province. In the last financial year alone, 169 metro rail trains have been refurbished in Tshwane, in Johannesburg, and in Ekurhuleni. A total of 2,433 minibus taxis were assembled in Springs in Ekurhuleni since 2012. In addition, 608 buses for BRTs, Metro Rail, and the Gauteng are being assembled in the West Rand and in Ekurhuleni. Madam Speaker, our intention is that the new Gauteng rolling stock must be manufactured, those trains of the Gauteng must be manufactured locally in our own economy. Because when they are manufactured locally, they will boost local manufacturing and they'll create jobs in our local economy. With regard to road infrastructure,
we are spending 7.8 billion rands to upgrade and expand all major roads that connect and integrate the different development corridors and key economic nodes of our province over the next 3 years. In Johannesburg, which is our central corridor, we are upgrading William Nicol from the PWV5 on the Jackscape Bridge to N14 in Diepsloot, which forms a very important link between the N14 in the north and the N1 in the south. The N14 from Diepsloot to the Hendrik Potgieter intersection will link Tshwane, Johannesburg, and the West Rand region communities in a very transformative manner. Here in Sidibeng, which is our southern corridor, we are upgrading the R80, which is the old Vereeniging-Johannesburg road, from a single to a dual carriageway from Walkerville to Didier. The road will provide access to existing and future developments around Walkerville, Aikenhof, and Didier. We will also upgrade Everton Road from Adams to Selborne. We are building a new interchange on the R40 Barrage Road that will connect the new Vaal River City to Sharpeville. In Ekurhuleni, our eastern corridor, we are upgrading Heidelberg Road from Leondale-Fosdick Road to Berry Marias Road, from a single carriageway to a dual carriageway. The project will improve accessibility for future developments in Vosloorus, Leondale, and the southern areas of Ekurhuleni. Honorable members, all these roads I am mentioning will not be tolled. I want to repeat, all these roads I am mentioning will not be tolled. I want to repeat, all these roads I have mentioned will not be tolled. As you will recall, we reviewed the impact of e-tolls on the people of our province, and this led to a new dispensation that is currently being implemented with significant concessions. However, in many meetings I have addressed since the announcement of the new dispensation, I have heard motorists who say that they are not paying the e-tolls due to affordability, rather than due to the fact that they are part of a campaign of civil disobedience. I want to repeat. They are saying they are not paying e-tolls due to affordability, rather than being part of a campaign of civil disobedience. So affordability is the issue. The issue is not civil disobedience or civil defiance. The issue is affordability. Through the appointment of our advisory panel and the introduction of the new dispensation, we have been dealing with this matter of affordability because it was at the heart of this negative impact of e-tolls. We will continue to deal with this issue of affordability, honorable members. Madam Speaker, the vision of a smart province and the modernization of our economy and public services is taking shape in Gauteng. Broadband connectivity is growing faster, covering all parts of our city region. Through our partnership with the municipalities and the private sector, we will reach our goal of 100% connectivity by 2019. The provincial government has already connected 10 core network sites and 368 local sites that are fully operational out of a target of 400 for 2015-2016. In addition, the city of Tshwane has connected 700 free Wi-Fi hotspots, Johannesburg 408, and Ekurhuleni 408 Wi-Fi hotspots. At this point, Honorable Speaker, I would like to commend the city of Tshwane for reaching 1 million users and winning the Best Connectivity Solution for Africa Award at the 2015 AfricaCom Awards. Well done. We say well done to you, the capital city of our republic. Well done, Mayor, well done. In order to ensure integration, coordination, and coherence across the Gauteng city region, we recently established the Department of E-Government, which will drive our modernization agenda. I would like to reiterate that our commitment to ensure that local manufacturing of ICT products, components, and the development of new applications takes place in our city region remains unshaken. Our goal is to build ICT hubs and science and technology parks in all corridors of our province. Honorable members, since 1994, we have been responding to the challenge of housing occasioned by apartheid policies that have displaced many of our people away from centers of development and economic opportunities. In response to this challenge, we have delivered more than 900,000 housing opportunities to provide decent shelter to the people of Gauteng. More than 900,000 housing opportunities. Despite the rate of our delivery and interventions, many of our people do not have access to shelter due largely to rapid in-migration. As I have said earlier on, more than 200,000 people move into our province every year. In the 2015 State of the Province address, we announced our intervention. And that intervention is what we called mega human settlements and new post-apartheid cities, which will be undertaken across the Gauteng city region. And this will be done with the private and public sectors. Once more, the evidence that Gauteng is a construction site is indisputable. The cranes are up and construction is underway at Savannah City, not far from where we are. In Santen City, Steyn City, Waterfall City, the Tshwane West Capital, and the Africa Gateway in Centurion. We are pleased to also announce that initial work regarding the development of the new Lanseria City and the Vaal River City has started. However, I must report to this House that there have been delays in the rollout of bulk infrastructure which have slowed down the momentum, particularly of these two post-apartheid cities. We will work with municipalities to unlock these delays. As we have pointed earlier, the ANC-led government has done tremendously well in providing housing opportunities to more than 938,000 people in the past 20 years in Gauteng. Now that is the precise number. Earlier on I said more than 900,000. The precise number is 938,000. The rationale for introducing mega human settlements is to respond to the reality that building few houses in outlying areas will not address the fundamental needs of our people and will not resolve the spiraling housing backlog. We need to deliver significantly larger numbers through high-density human settlements that are integrated into the economic nodes of our province, so that people live closer to economic opportunities. This requires better capacity in our human settlement departments, in municipalities and our provincial government, and it also requires partnership with the private sector. In the current financial year, we have delivered close to 20,000 stands and housing units in the 5 corridors across the province. Owing to the institutional and capacity constraints, our performance in housing delivery is not impressive. We have intervened to improve drastically the administrative and technical capacity of the Gauteng Department of Human Settlements so that it can drive the program for mega human settlements and post-apartheid cities effectively and effect decisive spatial transformation. Honorable members, I am very confident that the appointment of MEC Paul Mashatile in this portfolio will go a long way in improving coordination with municipalities and in fast-tracking the delivery of mega human settlements and post-apartheid cities. And this will include building student accommodation. We have done well in setting out the vision for human settlements. MEC Mamabulo, you have done well in setting out that vision. Now we need implementation. Let the cranes go up everywhere in Gauteng. Let the construction work intensify. Let the handing over of completed houses and renovated hostels be speeded up. I want to include hostels. Honorable Dlamini, I want to include hostels, which has been a sore point for you and for us. Madam Speaker, I would like to provide an update on some of the important developments that have been taking place in 5 development corridors of our province as flagship projects. In the Northern Corridor, which is Tshwane, which accounts for 40% of our national vehicle production, BMW has just invested 6 billion rands to expand its work on the BMW B series. And that's the X1, the X series. In addition, there is an increase in the levels of production at the Nissan plant in Roslyn. Iveco will also produce trucks and buses in that same area. Honorable members, we have just completed a feasibility study to build what we call the automotive city as a new post-apartheid city in the north of Tshwane, where Roslyn is right away. There will be a new city there. Mayor of Tshwane, there will be a new city there. The automotive city will further strengthen the Northern Corridor as an investment destination of choice for the automotive sector, especially for exports into the SADC region. In addition, in the Northern Corridor, the construction of the BPO park in Hammanskraal, which was announced last year, will commence in the coming weeks. In Johannesburg, our Central Corridor, the Corridors of Freedom project, to effect spatial transformation is going very, very well. In terms of this project, the infrastructure upgrades along the Empire and Perth corridor, as well as the Louis Botha Road, are already underway. The provincial government's Kopanong precinct in the Central Corridor is back on track. It will contribute to the revitalization of the Johannesburg CBD and serve as a major booster to the economy of the CBD. And Kopanong has been approved by National Treasury also as a PPP project. And we are confident that the operation will start in the next financial year. Honorable members, the catalytic projects that will boost the development of the Ekurhuleni Erythropolis has received support recently at a conference convened to deal specifically with this issue. In addition, there are huge investments that are flowing into Ekurhuleni along the R21 road. These investments will strengthen the strategic position of Ekurhuleni as a manufacturing, logistics, and transport hub. And I hope many of you who drive on that road will see there are developments coming everywhere. We will continue to support the work of attracting investors into our economy, particularly in relation to manufacturing. We welcome the initiative to build the International Trade Center in Roseville at the estimated value of 50 billion rands. The Aviation Simulation and Training Center estimated at 2 billion rands, and the Green Reef development estimated at 50 billion rands. All these developments in the Ekurhuleni municipality will change the face of that economy. Honorable members, To us, the recent discovery of Homo naledi not only points to the unique and significant role that Africa plays in the origins and the development of humankind, but is also a game changer. Please join me in congratulating Professor Lee Berger, who is here with us today, and his team of paleoscientists from Wits University for this major work of scientific discovery, Homo naledi. I would like to indicate that more new discoveries will be announced this year. The professor has assured me there's more to come at Maruping. Homo naledi has massive positive implications for tourism in the city region and particularly in the West Rand, which is the cradle of humankind for us, the area Maruping. Honorable members, I have good news that just since the discovery of Homo naledi, the number of people who visit Maruping has increased to 150,000 rands. Rands are in my head. Yeah. Rands and cents are in my head. That's the job of the MEC. 150,000 people, not rands. We are now going to fully exploit the tourism potential of Maruping to promote tourism in the West Rand corridor. Accordingly, over the next 3 years, we will expand the infrastructure around Maruping without damaging the environment in that area. In particular, we will improve access, particularly public transport, to that site. Here in Sidibeng, we are supporting agricultural development and specifically small-scale farmers. The Vereeniging Fresh Produce Market is currently being refurbished, upgraded, and modernized. On completion, this facility will improve economic efficiency by providing the crucial link between farmers, agro-processors, and consumers. In last year's State of the Province address, we made a commitment to target 32 black farmers for support in planting barley to be supplied to Heineken factory, and we have now profiled all these 32 farmers. We have also started with the barley cultivar trials in partnership with the private sector. In addition, the provincial government has also decided to intervene and provide drought relief to emerging and subsistence farmers who have suffered severe losses as a result of drought. Madam Speaker, I want to reassert that education remains the backbone of radical economic transformation, and a nation that neglects education neglects its future. Education is the most decisive instrument of national and self-cultivation. It is the greatest investment any nation can ever make. It is our #1 priority as the ANC-led government. Honorable members, we in Gauteng run a huge and successful basic education system that caters for 2.2 million learners. A total of 77% of learners that started grade 1 in 2004 in our public schools reached matric in 2015. This represents the highest throughput rate in our country. And Gauteng province has consistently been amongst the top 3 performing provinces over the past decade in matric results. Between 2012 and 2015, Gauteng outperformed the rest of the provinces and produced more than 38,000 bachelor passes, particularly in 2015. What is particularly unique is the dramatic improvements in the performance of learners from townships. I want to repeat this. What is particularly unique with our achievement is the dramatic improvements in the performance of learners in our township schools. Madam Speaker, in 2009, fee-paying schools led the way with an average pass rate of 84.2%, whilst no-fee schools achieved an average pass rate of 60%. This gap has narrowed significantly, and currently it stands at 13.3%, down from 24.1%. And this is an indication of improvements in the system itself. Our township youth are on the move, and they are breaking racial and class barriers. We also support 1.1 million learners in the no-fee schools, and 1.3 million learners receive a meal daily. A total of 82,936 learners who live more than 5 kilometers from the nearest schools are being transported to ensure uninterrupted schooling. In line with our commitment of improving ECD, we have reached over 87,000 children through 1,330 funded ECD centers. We have also registered 2,000 ECD centers, and we are regularizing them. We have significantly increased the enrollment of grade R learners from 65,000 in 2009 to close to 113,000 in 2014. 113,000. It's almost double the figure. We will enroll 200,000 grade R learners by 2019. This is our target. In 2014, we introduced the Classroom of the Future, and in 2015, we only had 7 schools connected to our e-learning platform. I'm glad to report that we now have 1,861 grade 12 classrooms, 3,098 grade 11 classrooms, and 42 schools connected to our e-learning system. Madam Speaker, I had the privilege to visit Proteed Secondary School in July last year. And in January this year, I visited Chief Albert Lutuli Primary School to witness how ICT is totally transforming both the learning experience of our children as well as the teaching experience of our teachers. During those visits, I met Miss Guguletu Gumede and Miss Thelma Ngwevu, who are teachers, and I also met Nomkosi Gumede and Doraki Lema, who are learners. They told me that they arrive at school very early and stay much longer after school due to increased level of interest generated by self-learning and self-teaching through the tablets we have provided to them. In 2016 and 2017, we will expand this to other classes and schools. In order to provide opportunities to township learners with special educational needs, we are increasing the number of special schools in the townships, and we have built 8 special schools which are currently functional and will open a further 8 this year, further 18 schools this year. We are also establishing schools of specialization to strengthen our skills base, especially in critical areas such as commerce and entrepreneurship, math, science and technology, and other scarce skills. In the coming months, we will launch the School of Specialization in Mdeni, Soweto. We are working towards establishing a School of Specialization in each development corridor in our province. I would like to report that the ANC-led government is spending more than 560 million rands on bursaries, learnerships, and internships in order to equip our youth with the necessary skills and work experience here in Gauteng alone. This amount will increase to 1 billion rands in the next 2 years. In addition, Gauteng municipalities are collectively spending more than 100 million rands to contribute to the education of the children of our province, especially those from poor households. Honorable members, the provincial and municipal contributions are over and above the more than 10 billion rands that our national government is spending in higher education particularly for poor households. We are serious about the education and training of our youth. In December 2014, we launched a bold initiative to give hope to young people through a partnership with the private sector, which we have called SEPO 500,000. The objective of this game-changing initiative is to provide skills, entrepreneurship opportunities, mentorship, and facilitate job placements for the youth and unemployed graduates. Young people are one of the focal priorities of this ANC-led fifth administration. In the past 13 months, we have recruited more than 158,000 young people to participate in various programs of SEPO 500,000. We have facilitated the placement of 37,446 young people who were trained through our skills development partnership. And these young people now have real jobs and are able to support their families. I wish to express my deepest gratitude to all the companies that are working with us to give hope to our young people. We have also trained more than 19,000 aspiring entrepreneurs, and 535 of them are now registered as entrepreneurs, and 79 have become operational businesses. This is just through SEPO 500,000 alone as an initiative. Madam Speaker, the success of our SEPO 500,000 program can best be told by some of the young people who are here with us today. Gauteng Murapedi, a young aspiring entrepreneur in software development, and Amugelan Sebekwe from Pahama Waste Management Enterprise are here with us today as beneficiaries of SEPO 500,000. Today, they have proudly been given a hand up, not a hand out. We want many more young people to know that they too can come out of unemployment and destructive activities such as drugs to live meaningful lives. Apart from the provincial flagship program, SEPO 500,000, our municipalities are also involved in their own initiatives that are aimed at giving young people hope across our province. The biggest municipal initiative is the groundbreaking partnership between the city of Joburg and Harambee, the Youth Employment Accelerator, which is targeting more than 200,000 young people in the city by the end of this year. We will work with Harambee and other youth employment initiatives so that we can make a much bigger impact on the more than 1 million young people who are unemployed in our province. We need everybody to respond to the rallying cry about giving our youth hope. We need every effort, we need every support, we need every business, we need every civil society organization to join us in giving the youth in Gauteng hope. I would also like to indicate that from my interaction with many business leaders during the CEO Sleep Out in Sandton in July last year, I know that many business leaders are willing to partner with us in giving our youth hope. We are following up with these business leaders and their companies to ensure we respond adequately to this rallying cry of giving our youth hope. We do so because this year we will celebrate the 40th anniversary of June 16, the 1976 student uprising. We call upon the students that whilst we must advance the agenda for transformation within higher education and improve access, they must also focus on their education and their studies and ensure that no time is lost in this academic year. We also call upon parents and civil society to work with the institutions of higher learning to ensure that there's stability in our higher education institutions and they do their work and they are functional. Madam Speaker, let me pay my attention to health. Healthcare is the lifeblood of a productive nation. Last year, we set ourselves a target that by 2019, we will have 200 out of 375 of our clinics meeting the ideal clinic norms and standards. Ideal clinics are those clinics that open on time. They are clean, and they are staffed by health professionals that practice the values of Batupili. They do not close until the last patient has been attended to, and they have reasonable waiting times. We are confident that by 2019, all our clinics now, not just 200, all our clinics will reach this status of being ideal clinics and meet these national norms and standards. We derive this confidence from the progress we are making in turning around our public health system. And in line with this commitment, we have also announced last year that we will establish 449 ward-based outreach teams. And so far, we have moved above the 400 target. 400 was the target. We are now at 449 ward-based teams. What are these teams doing on the ground? These teams are conducting door-to-door work and community outreach campaigns on health awareness and healthy lifestyles. They are also interacting with communities to ensure that the doctors are directed to areas or households where there's greatest health needs. We are also on track with regard to the modernization of the public health services in our province. The digitization of patient files is currently underway and will be completed by 2019 in all our public hospitals in Gauteng. This e-health initiative is already improving efficiencies and drastically reducing waiting times. In 2015, we reported the significant success with regard to reducing TB incidents. We achieved a treatment cure rate of 85.1%. In 2016, our TB treatment success rate has marginally improved to 85.7%. We are concerned that while the rate of HIV-related deaths has decreased substantially, the rate of new infections remains stubbornly high. We launched the social mobilization campaign known as PASOP to encourage responsible behavior and to reduce new HIV infections. In line with our national development plan's call to have an AIDS-free generation by 2030, we are investing 3 billion rands towards implementing education, clinical services, and social initiatives that will help us turn the tide against HIV and AIDS. Our municipalities are also playing a critical role in the provision of primary health care services to our communities. The role of the metros is deeply appreciated in providing quality public health care, and most of their clinics are now going digital, with many benefits accruing to patients on the ground. In response to the demand on our health system, we are investing in infrastructure development in our hospitals, including acquiring the state-of-the-art equipment. In this regard, we congratulate Leratong Provincial Hospital for winning the award in the Obstetrics and Gynecology One-Stop Shop project at the Public Service Innovation Awards in 2015. In partnership with the government of the People's Republic of China, last year we unveiled a new technology machine that enables remote and instant treatment of fibroids without surgery at Chris Hani Baragwanath Hospital. This has helped many women who have childbearing difficulties. Margaret Mlangeni, who is one of those who have benefited, has the following to say about her experience, and I quote, "This disease," referring to fibroids, "this disease made my life difficult, and I've never had children in my life. I hope God will now bless me with children as He has blessed me with this machine," close quote. The VETS cardiology unit at Charlotte Maxeke Hospital boasts the highest number of cardiologists in the country. These are some of the capabilities and centers of excellence in our public health system. Madam Speaker, Gauteng province's poverty headcount has decreased more than half, from 10.5% in 2001 to 4.8% in 2011. And we continue to face significant levels of urban poverty, particularly in our townships and informal settlements. Since 2014, the number of people on social grants in our province has increased from 2.2 million to 2.4 million. In the face of poverty, inequality, and unemployment, the grants make a big difference in the lives of many people in a province where the cost of living is very high, to a point where even those who are employed can hardly cope with the rising cost of housing, food, transport, energy, and education. Accordingly, creating sustainable and decent employment through a growing and inclusive economy is key in reducing the number of people on our grants. Our flagship program to move people, especially young women, out of the welfare into employment is beginning to yield positive results. Since 2014, I'm very pleased to announce that we have moved out of grants into productive and sustainable economic activity 4,444 people. We are expanding this program with the aim of reaching over 11,000 people by the end of our term of office. The impact of our Welfare to Work initiative is aptly demonstrated by the words of Miss Doreen Mukwena, a 22-year-old who is here with us today. And she wrote to us, I quote, "Welfare to Work has helped me improve my life in making me an independent person. It has taught me to save for important things in life and also helped me to complete my studies. Skills that I have obtained during the program include communication, administration, and problem-solving skills. I was in the program for 7 months. Then I got a permanent job at Net Wealth Analytics as an administrator." Close quote. We have also created sustainable livelihoods for the urban poor by empowering 487 social cooperatives that have more than 3,000 members in their midst. And most of these are women. These women are involved in food gardening and community-based urban agriculture to help fight poverty and hunger. They also produce school uniforms to support children in our public schools and to provide dignity packs to more than 4,000 of our poorest girls from our poorest households, especially in Sidibeng and the West Rand. In the next 3 years, we will increase our support and facilitate the growth of more social cooperatives. In order to intensify the war on poverty and hunger, the provincial government and municipalities have also provided relief to 66,000 households with 227,000 beneficiaries through referrals from 5 food banks established in Ekurhuleni, Sidibeng, Tshwane, the West Rand, and Johannesburg. We are also providing food parcels to 145,000 people, and 39,000 beneficiaries receive daily meals at drop-in centers. We are fighting poverty. Siyaqhuba. Over the MTF period, we will intensify the war on poverty with interventions around over 500,000 of the poorest households in Gauteng. All these interventions have put some reliefs to 22.9% of the poor in our province. In response to household poverty, we will implement the single window that provides a basket of services and social assistance in a coordinated way. People of our province, during the 2014 State of the Province address, we made a commitment to develop a comprehensive response to the scourge of drugs in our province. Substance abuse is one of the major social ills plaguing our youth in communities. Drugs are destroying our youth and robbing us of the energy and talent we so dearly need in our nation. Through Kimoja campaign, which is a campaign against substance abuse, we have now reached more than 1.1 million young people over the past 12 months. We have also expanded mobile substance abuse services and other innovative programs to deal with this problem. Crime prevention interventions are being stepped up to deal with the manufacturers and suppliers of drugs in our province. We must go to the root and the source of the problem, these drug manufacturers and suppliers. There are also successes in this regard. This includes the establishment of the drug task team of the police and the arrest of 10,602 suspects and the closing down of 28 drug laboratories. We cannot lose the war against drugs. We cannot allow our youth to be destroyed. I hereby make a special call to the religious leaders who are with us today to take a lead in the fight against social ills such as substance abuse. Let us work together to save our youth. Madam Speaker, let me now pay attention to the issue of safety and security and make the point that safety and security of our people remains our paramount priority. In the 2014-2015 year, we made commitments on building safer communities in Gauteng. The recent Victims of Crime survey found that Gauteng had the highest percentage of households which felt that violent crime had decreased in their areas of residence between 2011 and 2014. However, I must reiterate that crime remains one of the major sources of worry amongst our residents. This is one area where very little progress has been registered in real terms over the past year. And this is owing largely to factors beyond the control of the provincial government. It is a matter of public knowledge that I have previously raised concerns about infighting and instability within the leadership of our police service. I've also been deeply troubled by the number of police officers who have been murdered by criminals. We must make it clear that police killers shall be hunted and put behind bars. Honorable members, I would like to report that we have been making significant progress in strengthening our focus, the focus of our law enforcement agencies on priority crimes. We have been meeting with the leadership of all law enforcement agencies. We have been engaging with them. We have also now appointed the Civilian Secretariat to strengthen civilian oversight. This is a matter that had been outstanding for too long, and now it has been addressed. We are working closely with the Minister of Police and the Acting National Commissioner to ensure that a new provincial commissioner is appointed soon, and we hope this will be in March. This will boost the morale of the hard-working policemen and women who are serving our people loyally while placing their own lives at great risk. We will also take full advantage of the existence of the 3 metropolitan police departments as force multipliers that will work and must work with the South African Police Service to concentrate their efforts, joint efforts, on crime rather than just focusing on traffic regulation and monitoring. I want to emphasize, mayors from the metros, those 9,000 men and women in our metro police can do much more to help us fight crime. They can't just be waiting under a tree to catch someone who is driving fast. They can't just be wasted under trees to catch those who are driving fast. Yes, they must catch them, but they must catch the criminals as well, who are breaking into our houses, who are killing women, who are doing many other worse things than those who are driving fast are doing. I am not giving an excuse to fast drivers because I'm not one. Madam Speaker, we are committed to building a safe and secure province, and we are working with communities to improve community and police relations. In this regard, we will support the Memeza Community Police Alarm System developed by Ms. Rirunzu Munisi, who is here with us today. This innovation was developed at the Innovation Hub in order to find solutions to some of our community policing challenges. It is currently being piloted in Diepsloot, where it has made a big difference in fighting crime in that community. We have been battling with the problem of illicit mining. This crime affects many communities in our province, particularly in Ekurhuleni, Johannesburg, and the West Rand, particularly those of our people who live on the mining belt. Many of our communities live in fear of marauding armed gangs that work under the belly of the earth and come out to commit violent crimes. Improving overall police performance, visibility, and re-establishing specialized police units to focus on the problems of our priority crimes, which is drugs, gender-based violence, illicit mining, taxi violence, and others, is important, and it is helping our province and will help our province to go a long way in turning this province into a safe province. We are committed to this goal. Madam Speaker, our province, with regard to sports, our province is the home of champions and the epicenter of competitive sports in our continent. It is here that sporting dreams are made and fulfilled. The provincial government is planning to seriously engage the sporting fraternity so that we can cement relations through a shared vision and a common program of where we want to take Gauteng as the home of competitive sports. This will help us to unlock and enhance the potential of sports in our economy as an important contributor to the re-industrialization program. In addition, we are paying attention to school sports. School sport is important in developing and nurturing sporting talent amongst our youth. In supporting school sport, we have provided sporting equipment and sporting attire to 450 schools in our province. We are aware that the need is much greater. We will work with sporting bodies and the private sector to increase the support that is being provided to the development of sports, particularly in schools. Currently, our province is the best performing province with regard to school sport, and it has won for 3 consecutive years the Old Mutual Prestige Cup. Our children in schools have made us proud. I commend our players in representing this province well in the South African School Sport Games. I also congratulate Troyville Primary, Waterkloof Secondary, and the winners of the Special Schools category, Isipose to Special School, for winning the Gauteng School Sport Awards for 2015. To strengthen social cohesion, we will create platforms where people from diverse backgrounds and localities can interact and compete in different sporting codes. We will continue to support major sporting events in our province, and this include the Gauteng Marathon, the Nelson Mandela Sports and Culture Day, the Soweto Marathon, the Under-17 Future Champions, Gauteng Champions Parade, the One Cup Game, the Wheelchair Tennis South Africa, Soccerex Africa Forum, as well as the South African, the SA, Joburg, and Tshwane Open. I would like to congratulate municipalities for installing gym parks in the townships. This has made keeping fit fashionable. It has also helped to reduce the burden of disease in our communities. In addition to sports, arts and culture also plays a key role in contributing to nation building and social cohesion. The Gauteng Carnival, which brings together different sectors of society to celebrate our cultural diversity, continues to grow. Just last year, it attracted more than 30,000 participants and spectators. We estimate that more than 3,000 jobs were created prior to and during the carnival. We will expand the carnival. Gauteng is also the home to the creative industries. It is here where creative juices of our dancers, filmmakers, poets and musicians, designers, publishers, painters and sculptors flow in abundance. It is also here where we create opportunities for the creatives to flourish and become economically empowered. According to the Gauteng Creative Mapping Project by Wits University, produced in 2007, it is estimated that directly and indirectly, the creative industries contribute 33.3 billion rands to the Gauteng economy, and it employs 180,000 people. It is for this reason that the creative and cultural industries will be one of the sectors that we'll focus on, both for social cohesion and in building an inclusive economic growth. In 2014 and 15, we made a commitment to preserve and promote our rich cultural heritage. This includes developing a Gauteng liberation heritage route to preserve sites of struggle and promote the tangible and intangible heritage. Working with the national government and the city of Tshwane, in 2015 we launched the National Heritage Monument. The establishment of this monument as a living memory of the South African liberation struggle is a significant development. This monumental heritage site will contribute to the overall objective of building a national democratic society and a society that is non-racial, non-sexist, united and prosperous. Since 2014, we have also honored some of the struggle veterans of our province, and this includes Mam Betha Kowa, David Bupape, Sam Duli, Dolly Ratebe, and Silope Tema. We have declared their graves provincial heritage sites. More work will be done to honor many unsung heroes and heroines of our struggle. Through Intirisano, we have also interacted with and listened to the concerns of senior citizens in our province. Many of them complained about neglect or abuse by family members, lack of programs and facilities to promote aging with dignity, and the cost of public transport. We would like to reassure our senior citizens that Gauteng province is their home, and we will do everything in our power to support and protect them. And one of the exciting programs we will support is the participation of the elderly in sport and recreation. Last year, I personally had an exciting moment with senior citizens at a gym in Soweto. I found most of the elderly people exceptionally fit given their age. Some of them participate regularly in fun walks, in aerobics, and in soccer. We must congratulate the Johannesburg team of elderly women who beat the famous Limpopo team, Bakhekulu Bakhekulu. And as you know, Bakhekulu Bakhekulu is that team of elderly women that went to Brazil, the 2014 FIFA World Cup in Brazil. We need to create more opportunities for the elderly to participate in sport and in recreation, because this is good for their well-being. Madam Speaker, this year marks the 60th anniversary of the 1956 Women's March. This march was against past laws and the oppression of women. The emancipation of women remains a critical task that must be tackled with consistency and urgency. We will unveil the Women's Monument in Tshwane during the Women's Month this year in August. The Women's Monument will be an eternal and living tribute of the contribution and role of women in the struggle for freedom and democracy and towards development. We have already exceeded the 30% target with regard to the empowerment of women through our procurement policy in our province. And we are surging to the 50%, which is our target for 2020. Currently, 400 enterprises owned and run by women benefit from our procurement spend. Our program for radical transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization, such as the township economy, SEPO 500,000, and our social development programs all target women. We will also continue to ensure that women play a leading role in the decision-making structures of our province, including in the public and private sector institutions. Watinta bafazi, watinta imbokodo. In 2013, Gauteng had the poorest performance with regard to the employment targets for people with disability. And by then, we achieved only 0.7%. That's in 2013. I'm happy to announce that by October 2015, our province is now the best performing province in the Republic with regard to employment equity for people with disability, and we are at 1.6%, much closer to the target of 2%. We will exceed and surpass this target of 2%. We have in other areas already surpassed 30% with regard to allocating houses to people with disability, and we are now at 38%. We agree with the rallying call made at the 2015 Disability Rights Month that nothing about us without us. Madam Speaker, in 2014, we also said we will take active measures to ensure that military veterans are mainstreamed into the existing socio-economic and governance programs of our province. We have developed and adopted a program of action on military veterans in line with the passing of the Military Veterans Act 18 of 2011 by our national parliament. According to the DMV, about 5,390 military veterans live in Gauteng. We will ensure that we include military veterans in our program for transformation, modernization, and reindustrialization. We are also working with military veterans to ensure that they participate in the mainstream of our economy, including ensuring that they benefit from the township economy revitalization. We will this year ensure that military veterans benefit from our human settlement projects in line with the standards set by our national government. Madam Speaker, this year we will hold local government elections. We are proud of the work that is being done by municipalities in the Gauteng City region since 2011 to deliver services to our people, to build infrastructure and drive the reindustrialization of our local economies. Local government is the most important sphere which is closest to the people. We congratulate our municipalities for achieving clean audits and other national and international awards. As already pointed out, the city of Tshwane has won that prestigious award with regard to its work on free Wi-Fi. The city of Johannesburg has also awarded an international award, the C40 Cities Award, for its leadership in tackling climate change through its Green Bond initiative. Back to the city of Tshwane. The city of Tshwane has also won South Africa's 2015 Earth Hour Capital Award. The city of Ekurhuleni has received the Blue Drop Water status for the quality of its drinking water. Ekurhuleni, Sidibeng, Mukhali City, and Midval have made us proud for achieving clean audits. They have made us proud. Because clean audits are necessary and important in the Gauteng City region. Madam Speaker, last year we made a commitment to clean and green our cities and towns. We have now relaunched Buntle Kibutu campaign to mobilize communities to take care of their environment and to participate in efforts to beautify their streets, cities, towns, as well as derive work and other economic opportunities from recycling waste. Apart from the environmental benefits, the waste economy has enormous potential to create employment and generate entrepreneurial opportunities for thousands of our unemployed people in the community. The people of Gauteng. Before I conclude my speech, I would like to outline some of the key lessons learned in the past 21 months of this fifth administration. I would like to say that it is possible to restore confidence, public confidence, and build a common narrative if we as government honor our commitments and implement the agreed plans. We know that our people are tired of excuses and empty promises. The commitments we make must be the commitments we honor. It is also possible to build a productive and mutually beneficial partnerships with the private sector and civil society so that we can together tackle all the challenges that our province faces. Preliminary indications are that our call for partnerships with the private sector has received significant support, particularly on infrastructure projects, because more business people are willing to invest in infrastructure initiatives of this province. We can successfully resolve structural problems of our economy if we work together in a systematic way and in a coordinated manner. We can solve the problems of youth unemployment and drugs if we build the right partnerships and give hope to our young people. I would like to call upon all of you to join us to work for a better Gauteng for all. Given these lessons, honorable members, we have decided to take Ntirisano to other areas where we have not been. And these areas will also include suburbs in our province, so that we can also deal with specific problems that face the suburban areas, the middle class and middle strata in these areas, including the youth and the black middle strata. We need to mobilize all the people of Gauteng to come together and make sure that this province is truly a home for all. Black and white, rich and poor, men and women, young and old. Let me conclude by thanking a number of people today. And firstly, I would like to thank my family, and particularly my wife, Mpho, and the children for understanding my difficult choice of a life of service to the people and for their unwavering support. This is a difficult choice. Life of service to the people is a difficult choice. Lots of inconveniences to families. I would also like to thank Team Gauteng and the entire team of the Gauteng City region, which includes the MECs, the executive mayors, for their commitment to collaborate with us so that we can work together to serve our people loyally. I would like to thank the DG, the special advisors, and the staff in the Premier's office for their hard work and support. I would also like to thank members of this legislature for holding us accountable. How can I forget members of this legislature? They are holding us accountable. We are not perfect. We value your guidance as members of this legislature. We also value your criticism. But I would like to appeal that you must work with us to place our province at the cutting edge of clean governance, social and economic transformation in an inclusive way and in a sustainable way. And I do believe that with the unity of purpose, we can mobilize all the people of our province to come together and build Gauteng into a true home for all. And I truly believe we can. I thank you.
Thank you, Honorable Premier, for your address, and we request that your address be forwarded to the table for placing on the order paper in terms of Rule 15. Let me also acknowledge some few people that I missed during my acknowledgement. I know that Mayor from the West Rand, Executive Mayor Nawa, members of the Judiciary, our stalwarts, Mama Winnie Matigizela, I have seen Reverend Chikane also. Our Isitwalandwe Siaparankwe, Comrade Ahmed Katrada. I know that we have a minister who comes from our province, Minister Des van Rooyen, who is here with us. The Deputy Minister for Trade and Industry, Honorable Masina, who is also here. Our veteran, Mr. Mavuso Msimango. Talitambo and wife, Rachel. How can I forget my friends, the HIP community? Let me also thank all the church leaders and the leadership in their church for allowing us to come and pray with you yesterday. We visited about 20 churches in the entire CDBN region yesterday. So thank you very much for your prayers. I now have to adjourn the sitting. I will request all members of the House to proceed to the piazza, which is outside the sports complex. I'm told that it's closer to the swimming pool. But if you have not seen the swimming pool, there's a protocol team that will take us there. There's Lunga at the back who will lead us. But let me also remind you as citizens of South Africa that on the 5th and the 6th of March, the IEC will be conducting what is called voter registration weekend. I want to encourage all of you to go and vote and register so that you are able to vote on the day of the elections. The next sitting will be on Thursday, the 25th February 2016, at the Gauteng Provincial Legislature, which is situated at corner Albertina Sisulu and Resik Street, and it will start at 10 sharp. Thank you very much. The House is adjourned.
Central to the State of the Province address was Ntirisano, which is much about improving the pace of service delivery and also making sure that government works faster together with communities in achieving more. And that was the State of the Province address by Dade David Makura. And he also made mention very strongly about the economy and focusing largely on making sure that township economy gets the attention that it deserves. He spoke about support of SMMEs, entrepreneurship, also giving kudos where it's due to city of Tshwane because they have improved on accelerating the access for young and black entrepreneurs. He spoke about innovation, but more importantly also touching on the very important issue on the strides that have been made by the education department in the Gauteng province, that electronic and innovation has just been central to education in our province, where learners have had access to iPads and various technologically advanced means of doing the work. But more importantly again, it was the Department of Roads and Transport, because without roads, without transport, the economy suffers. If we have better roads, we have the better economy. The Premier didn't leave that behind. Also, the Premier assured the people of Gauteng that safety is central to the well-being of Gauteng. He admonished those who are killing the police and said that the days are numbered, and in a matter of days they will be behind bars if they continue doing what they are doing. But the speech was a wide-ranging speech. You'd remember that it started just after 11 o'clock and now we are headed to about 2 o'clock. Very detailed, mentioning job opportunities, 220,000 job opportunities through the EPWP since 2004, and also saying that despite the impressive achievement in the number of new jobs created, the number is still staggering of 2.2 million people. Now, let us see what's happening and other improvements on our clip, which will show you that Gauteng is moving forward.
Thank you.